Uh, I remember Unsocial getting 6th stage, free fresh against Synergy, and I'm pretty excited to see him play, to be honest, see if he's improved any as we do rotate to the 6th side of the map, and we are looking edge map for a survivor, potentially Delhi, but does look like we are going to be making our way the 5, so the 7th side of the map, but no, we're going to mess up a little bit. We do see a survivor already working the main generator, getting some free progress as No Score has rotated up the left side of the map, probably looking for a cross, but I don't know if he's realized, but I mean, Zylek's getting free pressure on main.
Yeah, but it looks like we have been found a little bit out of position onto Zabravo. We're playing a little bit risky here as we will be playing around this pillar, and we're just going to run straight into the killer there. That was not the smoothest of moves. Unfortunately, Zabravo takes a very, very quick down there. Was playing very ballsy around the filler there. And we do see that is Ruin Pop in the background. So we do see that Ruin is gone, but Pop is still available to us. This feels like a very old build, but we do have Wretched Fate as well, so this should be a nice little slow down build, but we will get the free hit onto main here, and this will regress it by quite a bit as we saw Zylek working on it for a good while here. We're going to be rotating back down to 6 as well to defend the hook and get some pressure on the board. Hopefully we're looking to secure a free 2nd stage here, but I think it's going to be difficult with how actively the survivors are playing, but nobody's really down the 6th side of the map, so we're going to have to play very aggressive, and we will be heading back because that's exactly what we need to do here. We do see that Unsocial has come in for the unhook with the medkit running away, possibly our Delhi build there, as we are going to see the next chase occur onto our first hook already. This is going to be onto Zabravo.
Yeah, it does look like No Score kind of messing up that curve a little bit. Zabravo's just going to be pre-dropping that pallet, and it does look like we are just going to be zoning into this 5 matchstick, as it does look like Zabravo kind of just breaks off, and Unsocial going to be hugging the killer a little bit, giving a free tag as No Score just continues to tunnel out onto Zabravo, and it does look like he's going to be actually breaking away from this pallet. I'm not too sure what he has in this corner, although he's probably just trying to make the death spot. No Score messing up a little bit, and it does actually allow Zabravo to make his way back up to the map, potentially making this car pallet. But no, we are not opting to the car pallet. We're going to keep running up to the one side of the map, and I believe this is just probably going to be the M1, as we do see 2 generators in the background pop.
So we are playing very actively on both sides here. Zabravo going for a much better chase there. The first one was unfortunately a 2-tap. Put the survivors in a pretty rough position, to be completely honest, to go down that quickly, but we were able to come back here as we are going to see the rotate onto Zylek here. We have found them almost out of position, but does have access to this Fun Bus pallet here, and we are going to go for the insta break, and I don't know what we were doing there, but we're just going to decide to give a free down. So that's going to be the down on to Zylek. I assume we thought that the Fun Bus was open, but it was not, and then we shit on ourselves a little bit. We will see the hook coming in here for our No Mother player, and the reset onto Zabravo as well, very, very quick. So we're probably going to be looking for a 3v1 relatively soon.
It does look like No Score has found this, has gone to the active generator and has spotted Unsocial on the matchsticks. Just going to be kind of walking around it, very M1 game style, as it does look like Unsocial isn't going to be vaulting that window, and it's just going to be going down. So a little bit rough for our survivor side here, but we do get the pull onto Zylek, and it does look like No Score is just going to be opting to just take this free stage. And I mean, maybe they can come back, Starzy, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, we've still got all 4 survivors in the trial. There's definitely still room for error. We could see Zabravo last for possibly another 6-5 minutes. It could definitely happen. I assume the moment we're going to see our Renato play here, we are going to swap chase onto them, and it looks like we will be heading up that way. We do find our Renato here actually doesn't go for the drop, understands the distance, and will be able to step away towards the 1 tile here. Hopefully we're able to outplay. Looks like we got for an insta-vault there. Does end up working out, but the chase is still hot as Zabravo is going for a clutch 1 chase here. Does go for the vault again. Will make it all the way around. It goes for the dodge as well. Will make it on the vault again. Does have access to the pallet at 1. So we do have some resources to play around here. This is exactly what you need. We need the 4v1 player to keep going. And Zabravo is very, very lucky. We saw No Score a bit rusty on the mechanics there. Gave Zabravo too much free distance and is doing it again. Zabravo is just going to be capitalizing on these mistakes for free.
It does look like No School's going to be missing some very needed chainsaw attacks. And does look like Zabravo is just going to be running edge map and kind of giving the killer the very free down right there. And I do believe this survivor is Death Hook, unless I have missed something. But does look like we do see 12 pop in the background, and I don't know if I can see this right, but we do have kind of like a 4-gen bottom, to be honest, Starzy. No, we do see Feature on the 7-gen, but I do believe this is probably still going to be quite a bad regen for our survivor side. But it does look like No School is going to be trying to find Feature on the edge map here. I'm not too sure what's going to happen, but no, we don't find him. We're going to be opting to leave to the 6th generator, and doesn't look like the generators have much progress, as we do see Unsocial, probably a Delhi player, here on this rock, and we're going to see if No School can outplay it, but no, it does look like kind of giving the kind of messing up a little bit. Does look like maybe we can see the chaser down now, but yes, beautiful curve onto Unsocial.
Yeah, we're seeing some up and down mechanics here from No Score. Has been able to clutch up in some chases and completely drop the ball in others. So we're hoping that we're able to really lock in for this final 3v1. We are going to see the stealth on the side for Fidget. Now, no surprise at all that our medkit player was Unsocial here. We are going to be running Delhi. Unfortunately, that Delhi is already gone, I believe, as we've already been hooked. So we are going to be taking the chase towards the top side, as we're going to see Xylix stepping away, and this generator is at 0, and we have a very tight 3-gen. My god, this is unbelievably close. We have Shalu 6, 6, and 7. So this is pretty much the and 5. So this is the absolute worst 3-gen I've seen in a little bit, actually. This is just so unbelievably tight. This is a 4K one. There's no... If this is a 4K 0, I'll be shocked.
I believe that starts even like the hill right in the middle of the generators definitely enhances and promotes that 4K one from happening. I do believe we kind of just saw someone near that bus, but it doesn't look like we are going to be going for him. Doesn't look like we can. No, we're not going to be sitting Shack. I'm not too sure what's going to be happening here. Xylic kind of just running into the open, maybe a little bit of a bait, but no. No Score is not going to be falling for it. He knows that Feature is around here ready to get this pull, and it does look like he's probably just going to be confirming this Death Starzy. This just has to be 4K1, I'm sorry.
No, that's exactly right. This is just so unbelievably close. This 3-gen, it's absolutely horrible. But it looks like we are going to be rotating. We do see the Death Hook finally comes in onto Unsocial here. We're going to continue the chase onto Xylic at 6 and see if we go a little bit crazy, but we will be taking the chase all the way back to the mid-gen here. We are just going to be doing absolutely nothing, but that is fine because we can decide to rotate. We can rotate slowly, it really doesn't matter. And Xylic has the Wretched as well, which is in Shack. So this is just absolutely horrible. The survivors are just going to be getting nothing done, no matter what they do.
Yeah, I definitely believe that No Score, and also, I meant Starzy. I definitely believe that, and No Score's going to be finding not both survivors, but he's going to know the location of both survivors right now, as he does find Xylic on this matchstick, and actually running bottom kind of zone, so this is a potential to be just dead in the generators, and definitely not what you want if you're on their side of Echo, that's for sure.
No, we are exactly right. Now we do try and continue the chase onto some scratchies here. We do see whoever this is actually fled towards 9 very quickly, was able to get a free escape here, but playing the 2v1 is just not going to work out. There's just too slow gen pressure. We've also got someone who's sitting on Wretched as well, so we're basically just doing absolutely nothing, unfortunately. We do continue the chase onto Fiji here, seeing if we can get a free down. Looks like that is what we are going to get, and that will be the Eruption proc in the background as well. This is just putting another nail in the coffin. It is extremely unfortunate how little the survivors are progressing. So we do see Wretched does end up procking in the background, does give away where Xylic is. I think that's a very interesting play for the 2v1, but we are definitely going to be seeing the down. We saw the scratch marks to our left, but it looks like No Score didn't even see them. Oh, we have now.
Yeah, it does look like we are going to be rotating back to this hook, potentially just getting near down, and this is probably going to be the last chase of the trial, but no, it looks like No Score is going to be opting to pick, and can only assume he's just going to try his best to We'll just catch up to Fijan. I do believe it's probably going to be the last chase of the match if you can find Fijan. It does look like we do find some. It looks like we do find Fija after tracking some blood pools, and I mean, I think the free gen could have maybe been prevented because the Bravo did die top on his last chase, but a little bit of maybe a miscommunication on the Survivor side and getting a really, really bad free gen bottom side. So looks like we are just going to be going for this M1 onto Fija most likely, and I mean, I wouldn't say it's the worst result, Starzy.
No, 4K1's definitely something you can fight for. Unfortunately, it is pretty common, especially in these S tiers. You're going to see a lot of killers that are going to be fighting around a 3-gen. And when you have a 3-gen that's as strong as that, I mean, why not fight around it? It's just going to be so consistently good for you. Even with 4 survivors, that would have been difficult to break. That would have been a really frustrating experience. But we do see the down onto Fiji here. So this is going to be the end of the game. That is going to be a 4K1. We will be heading into the intermission to see Leopard and Echo swap sides. So we'll be back with you in just a few minutes. Welcome in, everybody, to OSL Season 3, Week 4, Day 2. And we are already well on our way to reaching the halfway point of this tournament, as we are finally getting into the latter half of group stages. Now, we do have 3 very exciting games today, but the most I'm looking forward to is our second series of games, which we'll get around to soon. But for now, we will have Echo versus Leopard to start us off out with. Now, we did have a bit of a problem before, where unfortunately the first game was not streamed. So if you want to catch that, you'll have to check out the YouTube next week or this week, whenever that's uploaded. But you'll have the casting, and that should all be there when it finally comes around. So very exciting. We'll get back around to that at some point. But for now, we do have the Hillbilly Blight and Wesker sets. Now, we did get a 4K1 from our Leopard killer. There was an insane 3-gen, and unfortunately, Echo was just not able to complete it. So we saw a 4K1 in favor of no score. But we will see that on the YouTube next week. So get excited for that. But we'll introduce my co-caster, Halo.
Hi, Starzy and Twitch viewers. I'm really excited for these games. 4K1 from Leopard's Killer. Pretty average, maybe above average dust, but I'm pretty excited to see what Xylit can do, to be honest, Starzy.
Yeah, I'm very, very keen to see. Oh, we see Thomas loading in. Big Thomas fan here. I think I've said it a couple times on the Twitch channel. Big Thomas fan. But we do see Xylit loading in for the Billy set. Now we do find Thomas within the first couple of seconds, but luckily for him, he is right next to a resource, so he's not out of position. We are able to get towards 11 there. We see an insta drop as well, and this is a little bit of a problem. We've already wasted a resource before anyone was really able to rotate, so we are going to see Xylit making their way towards a 1 here, but we did unfortunately get a bump, so we've actually bought our team enough time to get all the way down, and we have an Urban Stealther right at the corner there, and Upper also stealthing right at the corner, so we do see Xylit. We'll be trying to search for these survivors, hopefully out of position here. If we can get a clutch little chase, that would be pretty awesome, but no, we aren't going to find anyone just yet. So far, the survivors doing quite a good job of stealthing edge map. We saw that both our Feng and our Ada were both stealthing very, very close to the corner of the map. But we do see that there is a gen being worked on. I believe that at 7 or 9, it possibly might be this 9 gen here. And hopefully we are able to hear some generator progress, and we do, and we see Thomas on the first gen. It will be the first and second chase of the game.
It does look like we do find Thomas, our no Miva player, playing very aggressive on this 9-gen, and what a beautiful prediction by Xylit. That is, wow, that was a really quick chase. I'm just speechless. That was a really good flick from Xylit, and it is going to cause Thomas to go down. It does look like we are just going to be hooking 7, and probably going to be trying to apply our eruption and pop into one of these active generators top, and it does look like we do find I'm going to say Claudette player. We're going to see our Claudette player right there for the pull, and we do actually pull quite early, and I mean, we're across the map. This might not even be a tunnel out, to be honest, but it does look like we are probably just going to try curve this as Ada does break away, and really close right there from Xylit, and just not going to be able to get that down as we do zone to this one pallet gym, and I do believe he probably does make it. A little bit of a free drop, but no, Thomas trying to take a hit. What the? This is a bit of an interesting play, Starzy. Oh!
Yeah, we do see Thomas trying to come in for the clutch body block. Unfortunately, he isn't really able to make it work. I do believe that Thomas, unfortunately, was our Delhi player. We saw a Delhi DS build. So very interesting build there. Unfortunately, for Thomas, was playing way too aggressively at the start for a Delhi player. So I think that's going to be a couple points off on the tier list, unfortunately, for Thomas. But regardless, the game continues as we chase our Ada here. And Upper doing very, very well to stave off the down and continue the chase all the way on the top side. And I'm sure the comm here was stay top, and Ada is doing exactly that. We will see the down coming in soon, but we have gone close to the corner here, and we do finally see the down. But a great chase by Upper, was able to keep it going for quite a while and really set our team up in a better position. Now, we do know that Thomas is our DS. We've given that away quite clearly, so I do think that the next hook onto Thomas isn't really going to give too much value for a DS player. Xylic will be well aware of it now, and we are going to see Nocturne on the Gen at 9. Hopefully we do see it. Gen is very, very close here. I assume the Survivor stealthing around here. We did see the Feng was stealthing at one point, but no, it is going to be the Feng. We are going to be stealthing right next to the Gen, and we will be able to buy a bit of time, but we're going to need to clutch up on this chase.
Sorry, my mic was muted. I said I agree, and it does look like Xylic is probably going to be going for some freshes. I don't know if this is a play considering that the win con is full K1, but of course Xylic will probably know better than me, as does look like he does look like our fake player does rotate to this map and to that rock filler, and maybe a little bit of a flick from Xylic, but no, just over flicking a little bit too much. This chase has been going on for a little bit too long considering the RNG around here, and it does look like we are going to be doing a very interesting vault, but it is going to work. So I don't know, if I was this Billy player, I'd literally just probably bam this window, but it looks like Xylic is just not wanting to do that, as this chase is just going to keep going and dragging it longer and longer. This Fang is playing considerably well as we finally bam this window, as we are probably just going to be opting to leave. It does look like we kind of have most of our generators are top, it does look like, so I'm going to assume from now on Xylic is probably just going to let that 6 pop, as it does look like we do find a little bit of a pre-run from Upper, and it does look like we finally do find Upper, our sprint best player, trying to make the death spot, running bottom with her. Oh, a little bit of a mess up from our Billy player, as it does look like Upper does pre-drop that pallet, a little bit of an interesting pre-drop, but Xylic kind of just letting her get bottom, and at this point, just kind of going for anyone. He's begging for some pressure, and it does look like we do find an amazing cracker from, I believe that was Thomas, but it does look like we go back 6. I mean, it was a pretty good start, to be honest, Starzy, but after that Fang chase, this pressure has just been floating away.
That's exactly right. I think there was one point to pinpoint the loss of the game, it would definitely be the chase at 6. Unfortunately, we just decided not to bamboozle that window and play way too aggressively for the down, but we do find Feng once again. If we're able to redeem ourselves here, that would be very nice. Looks like we've gone for a 3-1 here. Did not end up working out. This time we will go for the bamboo, so we are going to force ourselves to play around the other side. Looks like we don't go for the chase, so we take the M1 instead. Forces Feng to play a little bit differently here. Now we can play around the M1 and hopefully look for a 2-tap, as we almost see the down. Unfortunately, Too Slow does do the fake out onto us, but wins the 50-50. Xylic will be walking out with the down here, get some eruption procs as well, which at this point are desperately needed. We are going to leave as well. We do leave for the mid-map gen here. We are going to be looking towards 3 to see if we can get a quick down, and we see some scratch bucks heading towards 1, which is now a little bit weaker after the chase on to our Ada here. We'll be well aware of the resources that are left, but it looks like we are going to find someone. Oh no, we've gone for nothing. We saw them and we went for nothing instead.
Yeah, it does look like a little bit of a few mess ups from Xylic is going to be slowing down, and I mean, the pressure, I mean, the survives are playing quite well, to be honest, Starzy. I mean, they're pre-running, they're kind of getting some free chases, but the thing is, Xylic cannot just take advantage of those free chases and not get that free pressure earlier, to be honest. So does look like we do find Thomas there, but not going to be opting to go for him. It does look like he's just going to be fighting this survivor who kind of just pre-ran around the main building. It is going to be a Claudette player. It does look like we're not going to be going to the free active. As oh my god, I mean these generators just have so much progress. To be honest, Starzy, I just don't see a full K1 happening any day.
Skylick is really starting to struggle. Unfortunately, we don't really have any clear tunnel outs here, and we do see the next chase coming in onto Nocturne, who will be taking the chase up to 9. Very Fire League Legends champion right there, and will be able to step away for free down towards 8 as well, as we do continue to chase around this bus filler, but there's not too many strong locations around here, but it doesn't matter because Nocturne manages to get away anyway, but we will see the final generator of the trial proccing. This is going to be a 1-0 lead in favor of Leopard, so a very strong start for Leopard. Were able to walk out with the first set win. That will be their set as well, so it's always good to win your own set, but they will be looking for the 2-0, I am sure, as Echo will be coming in next for the Blight set. We will be seeing our Leopard survivors start off first as well, so that should be very, very exciting. We'll be setting the Wincom this time as we see Nocturne still going a pretty juicy chase here at the end. You're still fighting for extra stages, but we see the down there. Unfortunately, thought we might have made that, but no chance, and we are going to see the down. Question is, are we going to be seeing the rest of the team leave? Yes, we are, so that is going to be out for our Leopard team. So great showing by Leopard, and we'll walk out with the first set win. We will be back with you in just a few minutes as we get ready to see this Blight game. Welcome back, everybody, to OSL Season 3, Week 4, where we just saw a very, very strong result from Leopard being able to win 1-0 in the Hillbilly set. Now, Leopard did pick the Hillbilly, so that is to be expected, but now we will be heading into the Blight territory, which has been to favor Echo here, as this was their set pick. So hopefully they're able to do some clutch plays here and get the win, force the 1-1, force the tiebreaker, which if we get there will be a Westgate game. So get very, very excited, and Leopard desperately need this, as this will secure their win into the finals 3-1. So this will be a huge win for Leopard if they're able to walk in, but we will see what Echo can do here.
Yeah, I really hope the best for Echo, as it is their pick, as we do see Feija spawning on the free side of the map and making his way to 6, probably trying to find across Survive and actually checking the whole back of Shack, and that's 5 rushes used back Shack, and I don't know, I feel like it does kind of open opportunity for survivors to cross right there very aggressively, but it doesn't look like we find any survivors just yet, stealthing pretty well, and does look like, I keep looking around, potentially just spotted a survivor, but it doesn't look like we did. It just looks like we're going to be rotating back to the 6, making sure they're not getting any free progress. It does look like they were stealthing deep 11 actually, and we do actually see Thomas getting some free progress onto free, but oh, potentially a missed skill check right there, going to be alarming Feija that Thomas is on that generator. Maybe a bit of a mistake there, as we do find Thomas pre-dropping that pallet, and Feija playing around with the rushes quite well, and totally messing up, and very nice crouch from Thomas, going to be forcing Feija to break the pallet and not him.
Yeah, very nice crouch there by Thomas. Did force the break onto the pallet. We'll be able to take this chase up towards 1. We'll continue as well at corner, as we need to drag these rushes out because we don't want to give a free hit with only a couple of rushes used. Unfortunately, we still do have access to 2, so we will be seeing the rushes get right back here, and we are already back up to 5. We will see most likely the power pop soon, but Figia doesn't even really have to, as we see Thomas does go down corner map, and I'm really, really hoping that Thomas wasn't the deli player here. Again, we were running the med kit, but that has become a little bit uncommon recently. So Thomas will once again be the first hook on the troll here as we take the chase towards mid, and we'll just rotate to the survivors to see how much progress we're getting on the board, as we actually saw a crow fly up there, but I think it was just our Blight. We do see a couple of gens being progressed in the background, and we do have a deli player here as well. We see no score on the deli as well, so hopefully this game we're able to utilize it.
Yeah. Does look like we potentially find Aochi kind of stealthing behind the car and a little bit of a mess up right there with the collision of Blight, and does look like we're just going to be full rushing and kind of looking back at the hook, back at the survivor, making sure no score isn't getting any pressure on the generators. Does look like we're kind of just going to be looking for that stealth, and we're going to be looking for generators to apply the eruption to, but no, we're going to be flicking back instantly and not going to be catching anyone off guard, unfortunately. And I don't know, if I was the Black player right now, I'd probably want to be applying some eruption on the generators, although they are probably cross map as... Oh, Oyochi kind of messing up here. I don't know if this is even going to be a trade, Starzy. I think No Score's just about to go down.
Oh my god, gets the down with the 5th rush there, and this is going to be huge for our killer player here. This is just free value. This is absolutely what you want. That was a huge throw by No Score. Unfortunately, Thomas did not get the team off to a good start, but that is a huge ball drop by No Score, and wow, we're going to have these hooks right next to each other as well, and we are absolutely fine to play around this side of the map. We can just bounce in between these two hooks, and we are going to be putting so much pressure on the board. The survivors are not going to get anything done for quite a while. This is just exactly what Vegeta wants. You want to put as much pressure as you can in such a tight space, and this is exactly what he's done. Well, Ivy has stealthed in for the savior. This is huge. Ivy gets it for free, and we'll be able to walk out with the free unhook. Unfortunately, Thomas still on the hook here. We're not going to be able to screen this. We've got way too long, but can we get it? No, we take the M1. Vegeta will be taking the down onto Ivy. Thomas needs to go on a clutch chase here for the final 3v1.
It does look like we are going to be taking that tag, possibly to counter Deadeyed, although he did kind of just get caught off guard and probably wasn't supposed to get chased. And beautiful 90 degree flick onto Thomas right there. Going to be securing that down, and I mean, Vegeta just has so much pressure right now, but no, Thomas has decisive strike, and it does look like we are going to be seeing Thomas rotating back to the main building where he hopefully can get tracked for a little bit longer, but no, that is just not connecting. Just, oh my god, Starzy.
Yeah, this is exactly what you need. Thomas about to get tunneled out. There still is a gen being worked in the background as we see one just pops then, and Thomas will be able to get towards this mid filler for free, and this is a very strong filler. We get the stun as well, and this is exactly what we need. We see Ivy coming in for the hit take. We force the firecracker drop, and we will be able to drop this pallet as well. Vegeta, unfortunately, started to drop the ball here. Vegeta was in an absolutely great position. We see the for the people coming in from Ivy, and the down as well, possibly unbreakable here, as we know that we're gonna have to pick Ivy here, and this is a great comeback from Ivy. Thomas was almost dropping the ball there, but the FTP, the hit take there, exactly what you need to keep the 4v1 alive, and now Vegeta knows that we can't continue to commit onto Thomas here, and we see a second win FTP there. Unfortunately, FTP is going to stop us for a while from being able to activate that second win, so we're not going to be able to get renewal, but we're going to come in for a really early save. This is a very, very risky play by Thomas. Oh, it's going to be a throw as well.
Yeah, it does look like he's going to be... Oh, not too sure what's happening there. Potentially Nia trying to take a hit and messing up the rushes a little bit. We'll force 50-50s, and no, we are just going to be seeing the pop onto main and the down onto Thomas. This is, I mean, this is our timeout. This is going to be the death at one generator, although can Feja play the 3 generators and secure a good result of full K1 or full K0? We'll have to see, Starzy, because this is going to be the interesting rest of the game, and we'll just see how they play it out.
Honestly, Vegeta's doing a great job at the moment of keeping this as a tight game as humanly possible. Now, we do see, we find our survivor here. We actually find No Score almost had that double turn pop, but wasn't able to pop it just in time. As you see, a very, very interesting ping hit there onto the pallet, and that will be No Score who will be able to get away, at least momentarily, for free. And unfortunately, this really weak pallet here isn't really going to help us out too much, as we see the down coming through. But this is going to be a much-needed comeback for our Blight player here. We were very, very lucky that Thomas went for a very, very aggressive unhook there, and it did not end up paying off at all. If we could get away without getting hit, that would be fantastic, but we could not. But regardless, we still popped the last gen of the trial anyway. The Survivors doing a great job of keeping pressure on the board as we see the unhook coming in from Ivy. Now, this 4 gen was heavily progressed, and unfortunately, A1Q was able to just get it for free. So we will be seeing stages out the door.
Yeah, very unlucky for Feeder. They just had so much pressure, and we do find A1Q stealthing behind the cast a little bit. Probably going to see the Blight Rushes used here, and a little bit of a 2-rush 90-degree flick right there from Feeder. Very nice. We do have all Survivors injured, and we are going for the fresh here, and probably the most smartest for Feeder. Going to be winning that 50, and probably just going to be breaking this pallet. It's a little bit of a hassle, but no, Feeder's opting to play around it, and oh my god, what is happening, Stars? Because A1Q is just going to be able to crouch. That's a Blight attack right there, and probably going to try and make his way to the exit gate or hatch, but he doesn't really have any pallets right now. He probably needs a hit take if he wants to get out, but no, it doesn't look like he's going to be playing around it pretty nicely. Feeder going to be swinging around it. Does look like A1Q is just kind of playing around this pile of tires, trying to make it back to the pallet, although he couldn't, and we do find Ivy now right here. And I think the 50s quite nicely. Oh my god, he just won like 7 50s in a row. Okay, this is like too fast for me.
This is going to be desperately needed as well, because this could be the difference between 1, 2, or 3 stages, and Ivy will be able to make that pallet break for free. And I think we are going to be trying to take outs here. Ivy's still playing very aggressively. I think it's fine just to take outs here, but it looks like Ivy has decided that this is going to be the case. We do see the Survivors finally leaving here, and the hook onto A1Q finally does occur. Tried to save the stage there, but unfortunately could not do it. And we do see Ivy just waiting here as well. Now, we do know that A1Q doesn't have Deli, as that was on to no score. Unfortunately, he was hooked first, so we do see that out there. So there will be a very strong result for our Survivor team, but we will be going into the intermission for just a few minutes here as we set up the next half of the Blight set. Welcome back, everybody, to OSL Season 3, Week 4, as we will be going into the second half of the Blight set for Leopard versus Echo. Now, we did see a very strong result from our Survivors from Leopard, setting up a very strong recon. Now, we are going to need to at least get, I believe it is 7 stages for our Survivor. Actually, no, I think it's 9, actually. We got quite a few at the end there. So we're going to need it. I believe it's 10 stages for the WinCon, sorry. So we will be looking for a very difficult result here. It's going to be a 9-stage 4 fresh tie. So hopefully we're able to come in and get the clutch here, but a 4K1 will definitely get us the result. And I think that's what likely we are going to fight for. Probably just going to be playing around one side of the map, playing around the 3-gen, seeing if we can get some easy free pressure. And we do have Thomas, who will be coming in for the Blight. Thomas has been playing Blight a lot this season, has been putting on the skates to take it up. I think we've already seen 3 games from Thomas's Blight. Leopard have just been absolutely slammed with the Blight set. So very good gameplay from Thomas. Did struggle a bit week 1, but has since come back, has done very well actually. So very interesting pick for our Echo team. But we will see Thomas rotating the map, seeing if we can find a Survivor out of position at 4. Unfortunately, no one able to find it. It looks like we have swapped out Xylic for Chessboy here, so we'll see how Chessboy does.
Yeah, it does look like Thomas has just been kind of bumping around the map and hasn't found any Survivors so far, so pretty good stealthing from the side of Echo, and we do see Fiji getting some free progress and getting really close to the Bravo right there, but we aren't going to be getting found. And now Fiji on the 11 generator is going to be pre-stealthing, and we might see the chase onto Fiji, I can assume, as Thomas is probably going to be looking around here very precisely. And it does look like we do find our Adam player, and a little bit of a vault, pretty good vault from Fiji right there. Going to be not getting tagged, and a little bit of weird passing right there, not going for the window, and going to be vaulting just before getting hit. Very nice from Fiji, and probably going to be no, we're not going to be jigging. We're going to be vaulting the window, giving a little bit of a free tag right there, and this is potentially attack if he doesn't have a pallet. But no, we're going to be staying here, looking for something to live on, and it does look like we are just going to be seeing the down of the feature. Very unlucky giving that free tag, and we do see the eruption onto one of the bottom gens right there, as Thomas is probably going to be hooking. We're going to be going for this front main hook. I do believe he probably just makes it, and potentially Unsocial. Yeah, Unsocial is going to be going for that stealth save, and most likely our deliverance player right there. And this looks like Thomas is going to be making his way to the bottom side of the map, where he's probably going to try and, well, he will apply eruption to his bottom gens, and not a bad unhook from Unsocial. Going to be messing up the Blight Rush a little bit there, giving lots of free distance for Feija, and does look like we are just going to be going inside of main, potentially dying one, and no, we're just going to be staying here, potentially dying, and no! That is 5 rushes used, and the medium vault from Feija. And he is going to be looking front main, trying to make one. It is 5 rushes used, but he is covering a great amount of distance, but no, he is going to be able to make one. Very good, and very cheeky swing through the pallet. Thomas going to be getting Feija right there, Starzy.
Yeah, to be completely honest, Thomas desperately needed that down. This is going to be the first down the trial. A generator has already procced, not too common on Blight set, so this is not a good... I'm sorry, that is the second hook onto Fajia. So that is going to be a much better position. I was not paying attention even remotely there. But we do see the next chase will be coming in onto Zabravo, as we see the unhook coming in onto Fajia here. This might be a little bit early. Hopefully we have an FTP player coming in for the save here. But no, we have nothing. I do believe that Fajia actually might be our FTP. We just quickly swap to Fajia. I would love to get a build check onto this survivor. And it looks like we do see a Delhi hit take. No, but we see Zabravo, who is rotating for the FTP. Hopefully we're able to pull off something very similar to last game, where Ivy was able to support us. Zabravo will definitely be in position. Our survivor is here to help us. We go for the break. We need to stop. No, we're not stopping. We're just trying to get around here. Bravo takes a hit here. That is still not good, because we have given FTP value away. Unfortunately, Fajia just did not trust in the teammate and decided to just leave. They definitely had time. Unfortunately, Thomas will be putting on the pressure here, and now Fajia is in a really terrible spot. Actually gets a very nice pallet stun there, so that's very lucky. We'll be taking the chase inside of this little main filler, seeing if we can get a little bit crazy with it. But unfortunately, there's not going to be too many places for us to go. We actually have forced out the rushes. We see the break coming through as well onto Thomas. That is a very interesting decision there, as we pretty much just let Fajia lead for free. The only thing I can see getting out of this situation for Fajia is a reset onto Survivor and an FTP, but unfortunately that has not come through yet. Fajia is still well in chase and does end up taking the down right below the hook, and it looks like Bravo's opted to do a generator instead, which has been completed. So that will be done in the background. The survivors are all well into their generators here, as we see one is sitting on 70, and of course the Bravo just popped theirs. So we will see quite a bit of gen pressure on the board from Unsocial. This could still be a close game. Unfortunately though, I don't think we have too much gen pressure besides the one that is heavily being completed, which is this one here.
Yeah, it does look like we are going to be trying to find Unsocial. Very good stealth as they get resetted, and it does look like we are just going to be stealthing Edge, but kind of a free run from Unsocial. A little bit of an interesting play, considering that he's probably going to get hit either way, getting found or not getting found and pre-running, but you know, he's going to be taking the hit, he's going to be making his way to main, and it does look like he's probably going to be trying to make something, but that's only 2 rushes used, so this is probably going to be a little bit of a tap onto Unsocial, our Delhi player right there. So not the worst thing in the world. I do believe our survivor should just be able to sit gens right now and rotate for the generators, knowing that it is Deliverance, but Chessboy kind of running in the open right there, I saw for a split second. Hopefully he doesn't get found, but you know, it does look like we do find that hook just in the front of main, and I mean, this free gen is actually quite playable for the survivors, to be honest, and you know, Eruption, as long as I don't give too many free chases and I don't give too many free downs, I believe this is definitely possible on the side of Echo Stars.
No, you're exactly right. Unfortunately though, Chessboy will be getting a little bit shit on there, giving basically a free hit. Does get away with a 2 rushes used there. and we'll be able to make it towards main. But we do see the cutoff coming in from our blight player here. Unsocial will just be sitting on hook. The idea here is to really try and get these rotate. I think Bravo's doing the right thing here. He's actually stealthing very well here. Luckily, Thomas doesn't look for us because we are stealthing quite close to that generator there. So hopefully Bravo is able to put some pressure on the board, and I think we might have got a little bit of an awkward comm here because we see the early lead, but we do see Unsocial does get off here. Chessboy, though, will be the one who is in chase, and unfortunately, we get the bounce onto Chessboy. Does end up going down. That could have looked very, very awkward for Thomas, and will be able to get the down here. And this is very, very good for us as we are still putting pressure on the board. So Bravo will be working on that generator in the background. We open this up as well to get Chessboy onto a more convenient hook. We will be hooking them in middle, which will be very, very good for us here, as I'm definitely sure, yeah, we are going to be hooking them on this middle on this middle hook here. So we do have access, and we do have line of sight as well. We do have line of sight to this generator that's pretty much only a couple meters away from us. So we're in a very, very opportune situation here, as we are going to be seeing Unsocial work on a generator right in the background. I do believe that's at 4.
Yeah, I mean, this was definitely possible for the survivors, but after the Unsocial and Chessboy kind of giving 3 downs almost, this is definitely kind of more in favor of Thomas, I would say, as they haven't even popped a generator yet. And, I mean, it does look like Thomas is going to be checking his generators, and Unsocial giving 3 LOS once again. This is not what you want on the survivor side. But it doesn't look like Thomas is going to be taking advantage of that LOS onto Unsocial, and we do find the stealth behind the cars. Whoa, what an amazing read from Thomas right there. I'm not too sure if he even saw Zaravo. I definitely didn't, but free tag. This is looking rougher and rougher for the Echo side as we keep going. And again, Unsocial kind of giving 3 LOS. Not much he can do, to be honest, and in his fair honesty, but it does look like potentially a little bit of a poor opportunity there, but no. I think Starzy, they probably need to plan some type of reset, although this is just not going to be happening as a Bravo just gets found and giving a free tag, not going to be able to 360 the killer. Unsocial giving 3 LOS. There was only 3 rushes used, Starzy. This is over. This is a 4K2. I'm sorry.
I did say before that the win con was 10 stages. I was actually wrong at 7, but it doesn't matter because a 4K2 is going to be an absolute destruction. Now, we actually let Chessboy get away for free here, but I think this is absolutely fine because Thomas knows what the win con is and will be getting it for free. So this is going to be the win con here, and especially we're just going to drill it in with the hook onto Unsocial here, but we actually decide to opt for Chessboy instead, seeing if they're around the back of main. We'll just rotate to Chessboy, who is stealthing at 9 edge, so we will be much safer and as well. So we will be able to get the free hook onto Unsocial here, and this will just absolutely hammer in the win. So very, very big shout out to Thomas here, being able to walk out with a very strong 2-0, and that's just absolutely what you want to see. We've gotten so many blight sets from Thomas, because I pretty much had to play blight almost every week now. So very, very well done by Thomas, able to secure another win for the Leopard team. But that will be Leopard finishing on 3-1 for the group stages. So we will be seeing Leopard in the final. I technically should say most likely, but we will actually. We will be seeing Leopard in the final as they are 3-1. So that is going to be a Leopard and Resurrection final for Group D. So massive shout out to Leopard and Resurrection, already able to lock it in by week 4. Absolutely fantastic games from you guys. But we will be seeing Echo unfortunately drop 0-3. They still do have another game to play, so hopefully they're able to clutch up and get a win in their last game.
I agree. I mean, very rough on the side of Echo, just giving too much information for the killer, and the killer just played around the information really well and ended up securing that amazing result of 4K2. So yeah, Starzy, I mean, not too sure what else to say about that. 2-0. I was kind of expecting it, knowing that Leopard is more of an experienced team, but not much else to say, to be honest, Starzy.
Yeah, great stuff from our Leopard survivors. We will be going out of intermission here, so we will be back with you in just a few minutes as we set up something I'm very, very excited for. Lyrians and Marine versus Kaito Kids. This should be a really, really fun set, so make sure to stick around because this is going to be one that you're going to watch out for, and this is a huge one for both teams as Lyrians and Marine currently 2-0, Kaito Kids currently 2-1, so whoever loses here will take a huge hit, but regardless, we'll be back with you in just a few minutes.